Welcome to FACT-ory. Prepare for 50 random facts that will make you instantly smarter. Are you ready? Let's go. Number 1. The skin on your hands and face has a slightly lower pH than the rest of your body, making it more acidic. This mild acidity forms part of the skin's natural barrier, known as the acid mantle, which helps protect against harmful bacteria, pollutants, and other environmental stressors. This subtle difference plays a vital role in immune defense and skin health. Number 2. In 2013, a single thief pulled off one of the most significant jewelry heists in history by stealing a suitcase containing 72 priceless pieces. The theft occurred in a poorly secured room just before a private exhibition, and the stolen jewelry was valued at $136 million. The owner was a billionaire collector, preparing to showcase his exclusive collection to select guests. Number 3. Jason Brown, formerly an NFL center with the St. Louis Rams, left professional football to become a farmer in North Carolina. Motivated by a desire to serve others, he founded First Fruits Farm. Since then, he and his family have donated over 1 million pounds of produce to food banks, helping to combat food insecurity in their local communities and beyond. Number 4. Due to concerns over mad cow disease, bovine spongiform encephalopathy, people who lived in the United Kingdom between 1980 and 1996 were barred from donating blood in the U.S. This restriction lasted for decades and was finally lifted in May 2022, after scientific assessments concluded that the risk of disease transmission through blood donation had become negligible and manageable. Number 5. English phonology includes between 14 and 21 distinct vowel sounds, depending on the dialect spoken. In contrast, many other languages like Spanish or Hindi typically have only 5 to 6 vowel sounds. This wide range in English often confuses non-native speakers, especially when learning pronunciation, as many vowel sounds are subtle and do not exist in their native languages. Number 6. An off-duty nurse saved a young boy's life by performing CPR after he suffered cardiac arrest from a baseball bat striking his chest during a Little League game. In a remarkable twist of fate, 7 years later, that same boy saved the nurse's life by performing the Heimlich maneuver when she began choking in a restaurant, completing a full-circle act of heroism. Number 7. Thurl Ravenscroft, a legendary voice actor, is best known for bringing life to Tony the Tiger, the mascot for Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. However, he also lent his deep, resonant voice to the classic holiday song "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch," from the 1966 adaptation of Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, cementing his place in pop culture history. Number 8. While helium balloons are typically associated with parties and celebrations, many are not filled with pure helium. Instead, they often contain balloon gas, a blend of helium recycled from medical and scientific applications mixed with air. This approach conserves helium, a limited and valuable resource, while still allowing balloons to float, although not as effectively as those filled with 100% helium. Number 9. The satirical film Life of Brian by Monty Python was banned in a town in Wales for being considered blasphemous. The ban lasted 30 years until the actress who played Brian's girlfriend, Sue Jones-Davies, was elected mayor. One of her first acts in office was to lift the ban and organize a public screening of the film that had once been forbidden. Number 10. The idea that medieval castles featured clockwise spiral staircases to disadvantage right-handed attackers is largely a modern myth. Historical studies show that around 30% of surviving castles actually had counterclockwise stairs. The earliest known mention of the clockwise defensive theory came from a 1903 book, which offered no direct historical sources, suggesting the idea may have been romanticized after the fact. Number 11. Leonardo da Vinci, the renowned Renaissance artist and polymath, was a committed vegetarian and early advocate for animal rights. He expressed empathy for animals in his journals, often purchasing caged birds just to release them. His writings also condemn animal cruelty, suggesting he believed in the moral and ethical treatment of non-human life centuries before modern animal welfare movements emerged. Number 12. The Stockholm subway system in Sweden is widely celebrated as the world's longest art exhibition. Spanning more than 110 kilometers, over 90 of its stations feature artwork such as sculptures, mosaics, and murals. More than 150 artists have contributed to transforming this public transit network into a vast, immersive gallery, that showcases Sweden's cultural and artistic diversity underground. Number 13. The Spanish were the first Europeans to reach the Florida Keys and discovered a Native American burial site on one of the southernmost islands. They named it Cayo Hueso, which translates to Bone Island, due to the skeletal remains found there. Over time, the name was anglicized into Key West, becoming one of Florida's most iconic tourist destinations. Number 14. Florida officially became a territory of the United States in 1821 when Spain relinquished control through the Adams-Onis Treaty. This agreement transferred Florida's governance in exchange for the U.S., assuming $5 million in claims by American citizens against Spain. The acquisition marked a key moment in U.S. expansion and helped solidify American control over the southeastern region. Number 15. The Veltins Arena, also known as the Kakar Arena, located in Gelsenkirchen, Germany, has a seating capacity of over 30,000. Interestingly, it resides in a town with a population of only 3,600. The disproportionate size of the stadium is due to its use for major sports events, including Bundesliga football matches and concerts, drawing visitors from surrounding cities and regions. Number 16. Accounts of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, date back to ancient Rome. In 218 BCE, during the Punic Wars, Roman historian Livy described phantom ships appearing in the sky. Later, in 76 BCE, Pliny the Elder wrote about a glowing spark that fell from the sky, expanded, then disappeared. These early records suggest that aerial phenomena have long fascinated humanity. Number 17. The Pink Panthers are a loosely organized international network of jewel thieves responsible for over 350 heists, totaling more than $500 million. Known for their precision and daring escapes, many members have broken out of high-security prisons. Their nickname was inspired by the famed film series, and law enforcement agencies across the globe have struggled to dismantle their operations. Number 18. River Deep, Mountain High, a 1966 song produced by Phil Spector and performed by Ike and Tina Turner, was one of the most expensive singles of its time. Costing $22,000 to record, an astronomical sum back then, it involved 21 session musicians. Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys reportedly watched the recording in awe, captivated by Spector's wall of sound technique. Number 19. In 1971, the Apollo 15 astronauts left a small aluminum sculpture on the moon known as the Fallen Astronaut. Alongside it was a plaque listing the names of 14 astronauts and cosmonauts who had died in space-related missions. This quiet tribute remains the only human-made lunar memorial dedicated to those who lost their lives in service of space exploration. Number 20. Freedom House Ambulance Service, established in Pittsburgh in the 1960s, was the first U.S. emergency medical service to train paramedics. Its staff was predominantly Black, and the program set national standards for pre-hospital care. Before Freedom House, many ambulance services lacked medical training. Their pioneering work laid the foundation for modern EMS systems and significantly improved emergency response outcomes. Number 21. George Stathakis attempted to conquer Niagara Falls in 1930 by going over in a barrel, accompanied by his pet turtle. While he survived the initial fall, tragedy struck when his barrel became wedged behind the waterfall. After being trapped for 8 hours with limited oxygen, he suffocated. Remarkably, his turtle survived the ordeal, becoming a symbol of the strange incident. Number 22. Alberta King, mother of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., was tragically murdered in 1974 while playing the organ during a Sunday service at Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta. The church, where both her husband and son had preached, became the scene of another senseless act of violence. Her death occurred 6 years after her son's assassination and deeply impacted the King family. Number 23. The original version of the classic tale, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, didn't feature a young girl at all. Instead, an old woman visits the home of 3 male bears of differing sizes. This early version, penned in the 19th century, evolved over time into the more familiar story involving a mischievous girl named Goldilocks and a family of bears. Number 24. Portable power generators, commonly used during outages or outdoor activities, are among the most hazardous household items due to the potential for carbon monoxide poisoning. When operated in enclosed spaces or too close to homes, they can emit deadly levels of this colorless, odorless gas. Numerous fatalities have occurred from improper use, prompting warnings and stricter safety guidelines from health agencies. Number 25. The aurora borealis, also known as the northern lights, isn't just a visual phenomenon. In very quiet environments, people have reported hearing faint sounds like whistling, crackling, or hissing accompanying the lights. Scientists believe these sounds originate from electrical discharges caused by geomagnetic activity, though the exact source remains under investigation. This rare phenomenon adds a surreal quality to an already stunning spectacle. Number 26. Before modern safety regulations, a grim rule of thumb in construction held that one worker would die for every $1 million spent on a project. This informal standard reflected the dangerous conditions laborers faced. Over time, advancements in safety measures, engineering practices, and labor rights drastically reduced workplace fatalities, making large-scale projects significantly safer today than in previous centuries. Number 27. The Wisconsin River, which now flows southward into the Mississippi River, once had a very different path. Geological evidence suggests it originally drained into the Great Lakes Basin. Over thousands of years, glacial activity during the last ice age reshaped the region's topography, redirecting the river's course and altering the hydrology of much of the Midwestern United States. Number 28. Novo Nordisk, the Danish pharmaceutical company behind widely used diabetes and weight loss medications like Ozempic and Wegovy, has grown so significantly in market value that it now surpasses Denmark's entire gross domestic product. This astonishing growth reflects a global demand for its treatments and highlights how pharmaceutical innovation can have profound economic implications, even outpacing the economies of entire nations. Number 29. When a crow dies, other crows often gather around the body in what appears to be a ritual. Scientists believe these gatherings serve as investigations. Crows observe and learn about potential threats or causes of death. This behavior demonstrates their advanced cognitive abilities and social intelligence, as they use the experience to avoid danger and communicate information among their group. Number 30. Mariah Carey's holiday hit, All I Want for Christmas Is You, features no live instrumental backing. All the music was either synthesized or digitally programmed by co-writer and producer Walter Afanasieff. Originally recorded with a live band, Afanasieff was dissatisfied with the sound and recreated the entire track using keyboards and drum machines, giving the song its enduring, nostalgic charm. Number 31. The origins of chemotherapy date back to World War I, when scientists observed that mustard gas exposure reduced white blood cell counts. This toxic substance was later repurposed for medical use, leading to the development of the first chemotherapy drug, mustine. It marked the beginning of cancer pharmacology, transforming a wartime chemical weapon into a treatment for rapidly dividing cancer cells. Number 32. In the 17th century, Puritans banned Christmas celebrations in both England and colonial America, viewing the holiday as a Catholic-inspired, frivolous event. In England, the ban lasted from 1647 to 1660, while in Boston, it persisted from 1659 to 1681. Celebrating Christmas was punishable by law, and it remained socially unpopular in New England until the mid-1800s. Number 33. Before Pope Clement VIII gave coffee his blessing in the early 1600s, many Europeans believed it was a satanic beverage due to its stimulating properties and association with Islamic culture. Critics called it the bitter invention of Satan. After tasting it himself, the Pope declared it delicious and approved its use, helping to integrate coffee into European society and culture. Number 34. The song Jane Says by Jane's Addiction was inspired by a real woman named Jane, who struggled with drug addiction and dreamed of moving to Spain. Contrary to rumors, she was not involved in sex work. Eventually, she did move to Spain, overcame her addiction, and found stability. Her story became a symbol of resilience and personal transformation for fans. Number 35. In 2015, astronomers discovered a supernova that outshone any previously recorded stellar explosion. Officially named ASASSN-15LH, it was measured to be 570 billion times brighter than the Sun, and 20 times brighter than the entire Milky Way galaxy. Scientists believe it was a superluminous supernova, possibly created by the collapse of a massive, rapidly spinning star into a magnetar. Number 36. Newborns are unable to detect the taste of salt until they are around 3 to 4 months old. Before this stage, their taste receptors are still developing. Once they acquire the ability, studies show infants tend to prefer slightly salty solutions over plain water. This early preference may have biological roots in maintaining electrolyte balance during early growth and development. Number 37. Melpomene and Thalia, figures from ancient Greek mythology, are the muses of tragedy and comedy, respectively. Their faces are commonly represented as the iconic theatrical masks, one frowning and one smiling, used to symbolize drama as an art form. These muses were believed to inspire playwrights and performers, and their imagery remains a universal emblem of theater and storytelling. Number 38. A study at the University of Cambridge demonstrated that sheep possess facial recognition abilities. Researchers trained sheep to identify human faces from photographs by rewarding them with treats. The sheep reliably recognized celebrities like Emma Watson, but their accuracy declined when images were tilted. This research highlights the surprising cognitive capacity of sheep and their ability to process complex visual information. Number 39. In 18th century Naples, spaghetti was a popular street food eaten directly with the hands. Visitors from abroad were fascinated by locals' ability to consume the long noodles without forks, which were not yet commonly used. This practice became a spectacle for tourists, who sometimes organized their trips around witnessing the uniquely Neapolitan style of eating pasta without utensils. Number 40. Ghislain Raza, known as the Star Wars Kid, became an early viral video subject in the 2000s after classmates leaked footage of him mimicking lightsaber moves. The intense bullying that followed led his school to suggest he not return, and he was tutored at home. Despite this, Raza overcame the ridicule, earned a law degree, and is now pursuing a PhD. Number 41. Michael Lomonaco, the head chef at Windows on the World, the restaurant atop the North Tower of the World Trade Center, survived the 9/11 attacks due to an unexpected delay. On the morning of September 11, 2001, he stopped at the concourse level to have his glasses repaired. That brief detour prevented him from being in the restaurant when the plane struck. Number 42. Eugene Bullard was the first African-American combat pilot, serving in the French Air Service during World War I. After facing racial discrimination in the US, he moved to France, where he also became a jazz musician and club owner. During World War II, he worked as a spy for the French resistance, using his nightclub to gather intelligence on Nazis. Number 43. Henry Ford was sued for libel by a Jewish agricultural cooperative after publishing anti-Semitic content in his newspaper, the Dearborn Independent. The articles falsely alleged that Jewish farmers were conspiring to control American agriculture. Facing public backlash and legal consequences, Ford retracted the claims, issued an apology, and shut down the paper in 1927. The episode tarnished his legacy. Number 44. In response to a severe public debt crisis in 1340, the Republic of Florence appointed an executive council composed of ordinary citizens, including tradesmen like a butcher, a dyer, and a used cloth merchant. These non-elite leaders enacted bold fiscal reforms, including restructuring and refinancing the public debt. Their successful efforts stabilized Florence's economy and preserved the city's political independence. Number 45. Johnny Cash's famous song Folsom Prison Blues was heavily inspired by Crescent City Blues, a song written by Gordon Jenkins. Though Jenkins was unaware of Cash's version at first, he eventually filed a copyright lawsuit. The case was settled out of court, and Jenkins received $75,000. The incident highlights how musical inspiration can sometimes cross into legal territory. Number 46. Belgium banned video game loot boxes in 2018 after determining they violated gambling laws. The government classified them as games of chance because players spend real money for the possibility of receiving in-game rewards. This regulation forced companies like EA and Blizzard to modify or remove loot box mechanics in their Belgian versions, sparking global debate on gaming and consumer protection. Number 47. The iconic line, "You're going to need a bigger boat" from Jaws was not in the original script. Actor Roy Scheider ad-libbed the line during filming, referencing a common joke on set. Crew members used the phrase to complain about the production's inadequate support boat. The spontaneous delivery became one of the most memorable lines in cinematic history. Number 48. Vaults are large, barrel-shaped structures found inside many animal cells, yet their function remains unclear. Discovered in the 1980s, these mysterious organelles are often ignored in textbooks due to limited understanding. Scientists believe they may play a role in transporting molecules or in cellular defense, but decades after their discovery, vaults remain one of biology's most puzzling cellular components. Number 49. Contrary to popular belief, Marvel and DC are not the top comic publishers in the United States by sales volume. Combined, they account for only about 7.6% of the market. The leading publishers are Viz Media, known for manga titles, and Scholastic, which produces best-selling children's graphic novels like Dog Man and The Babysitter's Club, dominating bookstore sales and libraries. Number 50. The world's first streaming service predates the internet by over a century. In 1881, the Theatrophone allowed subscribers in Paris to listen to live opera and theater performances over telephone lines. Listeners could rent a headset and connect to the performance remotely, making it a pioneering example of audio broadcasting technology and an early precursor to modern streaming services.